Question 966. Do you have any irrational fears?
Not that I can think of.
You said rational?
Irrational.
Oh.
Brain bug.
Well, irrational fears. I do not like the thought of being out in open water where I can't see the land, but I think that's rational, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty rational.
As far as irrational fears, I can't think of any. Come back to me later.
But Dave, if we fear it, wouldn't we deem it as rational?
Not necessarily. I mean, all my fears are rational. But, you know,
No.
yours.
Spiders are not rational.
But maybe not to someone else.
Yeah, say like fear of like arachnophobia. I don't think that that's a rational fear, but
It depends where you
See?
live, I would say. I think people being afraid of spiders living in the outback in Australia is a reasonable fear. I think me being afraid of spiders is an irrational fear.
I have a lot of fear. I have a lot of fear that I can't identify what it attaches to, and so I would definitely call it irrational because I haven't the vaguest idea what it is I'm afraid of. Right now, as an example, I am actually very afraid right now and have the vaguest idea what I'm afraid of.
Dave. It's usually
No, I think it might be the meeting that I'm going to have at noon today, but I'm not sure.
Nerdy says no.
Dave?
What?
Her meeting. I'd be afraid of meeting up with you too. Checking all your things, making sure you don't have any napkins with chloroform or anything on them, you know.
Actually, I'm going to attend the meeting by phone.
Have you not watched The Prisoner?
Oh gosh.
I've watched I've lost it now. What do you call that movie with a guy who's an author? Misery. I've seen Misery.
Fair enough. Right, but I don't see how that's related.
Because you scare me sometimes, Dave.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, we're just
And
going
they
to go
kidnap
with
you and break your legs. Just because my legs don't work properly, I think everyone else's should. One at a time, I'm going to take
There you
them
go.
all.
Yeah. If I can't walk, you shouldn't either.
Yeah.
Math
Seraphim says quite a few. Nerdy says, no, all my fears are completely and utterly rational. Jefferson Spatchcock says, I'm only afraid of other Americans, so no. Paul Camish says, brain bug is scared of spiders. Robert says, yes, the fear of pepperoni pizza is very rational. Morton says, I do, but none of your business. Sammy says, cockroaches. Chad Hall says, irrational fears. Yes, sadly, agoraphobia is a bitch. It is. Sammy says, that sounds more like anxiety than fear. To Granny?
Mm-hmm.
Or fear of apprehension. Or apprehension, maybe? They're discussing you now. Chad Hall says, all my fears are rational. Just means you've managed to convince yourself the fear is justified. Yep, maybe. My fears are always justified.
See, I have a fear that Elena's no fear of the bees will turn into a very big fear when she gets stung. That'll be justified. That'll also be all my fault. And don't want that because at the minute she's not afraid of them at all. Doesn't give a flying fuck, like.
Then intentionally get her stung where you can control it.
Well, I've done that with nettles, and now she's not afraid of nettles. She'll just move them out of her hand with her hand.
The point is, the thing that instills the fear is usually the shock and the response.
Yeah.
If you control the situation that you do the thing, you're in a much better situation. You turn around and say, people do this.
How do you react to a bee sting, Math Pig? Do you have a bad reaction to it, or is it just?
No. I can get stung up to maybe 10 or 15 times before my fingers start to swell.
She might have your genetically speaking, might have your resistance to the venom too, and then it may not.
Well, at the start, it's just a matter of getting used to them. You know, when it does happen, when I was young and I got stung with them, it was fucking annoying. I have a very strong memory of running through the garden with about 6 honeybees up inside my coat and me panicking like mad, you know, at the start. But you just have to get used to them.
When you get stung now, do you hit where the bee was?
No, you swipe very slowly to try and pull the stinger out.
Sammy says, and this is in response to what you said earlier, it's Matt Pig's irrational fear of male affection.
No, it's literally just my fear of Dave being Dave.
Jenny says, I've lived misery. Next time, bigger hammer. Santi says, I have an irrational fear of the ocean. Interesting. Robert says, I'm also afraid of the answer to the next question Dave is going to read. What the next question is. The next question is not too bad. Harmonica Man says, the threat of child support. But again, is that irrational?
Should you not just, you know, support the child?
It depends on the state you live in. Supporting the child can mean one of various different things.
It's also a question of how many kids he's got.
Yeah. And you can want to support the child and still fear it.
And Uncle Sam's got to get his cut of that too. So
yeah. David Melbourne says, I fear zucchini. Richard says, I'm afraid of not explaining things as well as others need me to. And other people share that. Jenny says, when I get stung, my arthritis pain goes away. I might have to go and pay Mathpig a visit.
My mother has developed. She can't get stung now. You know, she used to not, but didn't bother her at all, and now she is going to complete. Is it epileptic shock or whatever? Or what do you call that?
Anaphylactic.
Anaphylactic.
You don't get epilepsy.
Epileptic.
Sting.
oh man, she has to keep an EpiPen on her. Then.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 or 3 of them in the fridge for my dad.
You just don't want to come to the United States and buy them.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
No. Mum would be throwing them out.
Buy them overseas.
Things go out of date, and it's shocking the amount of stuff that. And me and Dave were talking about this the other day. The most I've ever had to pay is like £2.60 for medication.
Oh gosh!
You pay about 7% for an EpiPen of what we pay over here.
Yeah.
And that's not the manufacturing cost.
No, it's worse than that, Brian. Right? You think we pay that, but we don't. That's what the NHS pays.
Your healthcare does, right?
Yeah,
exactly. You pay 7%
for a prescription
of our share of it, and there's even more costs than that our insurance companies over here pay. But that regardless, it's not the cost of manufacturing the pen or the cost of manufacturing the epinephrine inside. It's the pharmaceutical companies deciding that since the government's going to require insurance companies to cover the cost of this, we can charge whatever we want for it, and they have to pay it. They have to. It's law, so we can jack it up as much as we want. And then you say, okay, let's put some regulations on that. They're like, whoa, wait a second. Now you're trying to use big government to regulate small business. And yeah, of course, calling a pharmaceutical company a small business. I'm starting to rant, though. I'll shut up now.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. It's better when other people rant. Otherwise, it's me.
I remember when I had shingles, and they had to get me tablets, and the woman in the shop said, "You must be very, very sick because these are like £240 a box," and I did not have to pay a damn thing. Like,
yeah, if I get sick, I'm just gonna send my my drug list to you, and you can pick them up and send them to me.
It's fucking disaster.
Probably be held at the border and customs.
Oh, there's ways and means.
That's what happened to Dave's spiders that I sent in. They got held at the border.
Busted out of the box in the post office.
I forewarn you of this situation. If a box comes to me that looks like it's got in any way, shape, or form bugs or spiders in, it'll be set fire to outside without being opened.
Well, if we can just clarify,
live insects.
If we can just clarify, Dave, your birthday present was posted this morning, okay?
Was it?
So it's on its way. Do not burn it when it arrives. Okay?
Why? What does it say on the outside?
You say your fucking name on
Don't
the
burn it. Don't burn it. Seriously, you'll want it.
I actually have to say, I just say that knowing where I work, that actually happened once. We had a ton of crickets across our office. Box burst in the containing live insects first. We had crickets everywhere.
Oh my! I've dropped a box of crickets before. I know what a nightmare that turns into. It's like dropping a box of like marbles or something, except for they're free moving. They're just everywhere.
I'm assuming someone had them for like food for like a pet lizard or something like that. I'm guessing, but we had bloody crickets all over our.
It's better than going to watch cricket.
Yeah, it depends. 2020's all right. I don't really, I can't really sit for a test match though. No.
Sammy says, my son's medical cannabis is like $1,000 a bottle. Lasts a week. We don't pay a cent. Jeff says, is the gift to Dave a mug that says live spiders? Yeah. Sammy says, I'm guessing a wooden Aztec dildo. That'd be cool. Is it a wooden Aztec dildo?
I'll say you got one word right.
It's a dildo!
Okay.
Mind the splinters.
Right. Has anyone not told us about their irrational fears yet?
Me, but I don't know that I don't know I've really have any. I've certainly got
Cats.
rational. No, they're not really. It's not really a fear. That's more of a dislike.
A dislike. Fair enough. If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.